Good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital, nightly strategy podcast for January 29th, 2024. We had some great lessons and work being done in the small group coaching session that we do on Monday nights, so it went a little late. But it was important for those guys to get all of that work done and addressed. So sometimes on Mondays, we might start a little bit late. The recording for that for the guys in here that are in that session will be uploaded shortly. Really good work, really good ideas for being shared. All right, let's start with the 30-minute hybrid trading portfolio. And as always, it starts with Alcoa on 30-minute. This yellow box represents today's price action. The blue box is 5 days. This darker blue represents the 10-day range, so that's the 10-day high. And then this one down here is the 10-day low. So that actually creates like the 10-day NDX. So the previous high was up in here. So today was actually a breakout above the previous 10-day high. So it pushed the 10-day high to a new price level. And that's a good thing for the long side. So what we had was Alcoa closed here on Friday, gapped down, sold off, 1, 2, 3 entry. When it crosses the Bollinger Band mean, which is rising, and the VWAP, which is rising, and touches the skin of the dragon, I enter with a standard risk box, and it gave 3R today on 30-minute charts, 30-minute bars, done routinely. This was sort of the theme of the day, was intraday resilience in strong markets is a good thing. Strong market, yeah. How about this? How about the slope of the Bollinger Band 30? It tested and then continued. That's almost like a Kata 2 kind of a formation. You have a long sideways 3-day move that failed to fail. Then you had 1, 2. So that's a Kata 2 entry. That's what the market itself, SPY, is at an all-time high. And this is Alcoa. This is a great American company. So intraday resilience, what do I mean by that? Okay, how about a sharp sell-off in 30 minutes that held above the belly of the dragon and above the peak of the RL10, and then gives me a 1, 2, 3 that crosses the Bollinger Band mean and the VWAP and touches the skin of the dragon. Now I could wait for the RL10 to cross the dragon and I get the entry here. The difference between those two is about 1R. So that entry gives you 2R. This entry speculates a little bit earlier on evidence of strength and is worth an extra R for taking that risk. It's the same risk box, essentially. So AI, same thing. Kata 2 entry, crossing the PSAR flip and the Bollinger Band mean. It's above the VWAP. Dragon starting to slope up. The RL30 starting to roll up. What could we call that pattern? An owl. Intraday owl. Standard risk to the bottom of the RL10 returns 2R. I'm going to hold that one overnight because, like the rest of the market, the last hour featured a very strong move into the close, all-time highs. Caterpillar comes out of the contentment zone, sideways quiet channel. It makes a PSAR flip when the rest of the market was starting to go up. So I just put a speculative entry on a great American company, and it returned 2R, and I decided to hold that because of the cushion. So I'm using the market's money for tomorrow. That means my stop is still down here. Cliff, same thing, 2R. CVS, I tried the intraday recovery move. There's the rising PSAR. The Bollinger Band flips. It's above the rising dragon. It's above the VWAP. It failed for 1R. I didn't chase this because there were other things that didn't fail that were performing better. So I take the 1R hit and moving on. DIA emerges late out of the sideways quiet channel with the rest of the market, and it returns 2R and closed at an all-time high. Disney was strong right from the get-go. Speculated in at a new high of the day, 90 minutes in, standard risk box. It returned 4R and is off and running. Devon, I tried the rising 1, 2, 3, and it failed for an R. I thought about this one, but there were other things performing better that didn't hit me, and I missed a 2R trade, but you can't catch them all. Emerging markets, no trade. Ethereum, tried the early morning move. I saw the lump sum gain disappear and then get sideways. So I said that was enough. I didn't want to hold it overnight anyway. So that returned 3R. And I gave back at least, probably another 3R. So we've got 3 out of the 6. I'm happy with that. And this feels almost like a COTA 2 for tomorrow. So at the first sign of strength in ETHE, with that as a support, or this as a support, I'm going to be long again because I think it can get back to here. So I'm interested in capturing this. If it gets above 2060, then I'm really interested in it. EWW, standard entry, speculating in for an R. Got the short collapsing dragon here. Took an R out of EWZ at the turning point in the RL10. It reverses up. I get out a little bit before the dragon because I want to preserve a little. Intel, late speculation in, believing that this is what the beginning of a recovery back to $50 looks like. Remember, that's a 12% sell-off. If it was going to fail today, it had 4 chances. It did not. It PSAR flipped. Had the real sign of strength in the afternoon for the market. That felt like a low-risk speculative entry on a tech leader. IP, routine 3R short on the gap down. No trade in real estate. COTA 2 in Coca-Cola, which paid off nicely for an R. I'm holding it. Regional banks, I missed it. McDonald's, love it. Big sell-off, I missed. It held support. Here's the R10 reversing. I buy the crossing of the VWAP. Tight risk. It paid off to here for 1, 2, 3, 4R. So I'll raise my stop for tomorrow to about there and just try to keep half. And I give it 2R of market's money to cushion. If this keeps going, I'll add to it because I think it'll get to here and then here and then here and then here. So That's the glide path back to above 300. That's what that price ladder feels like with intermediate objectives. Merck, no trade. Microsoft speculated in on a tech leader. This was the intraday strength to me, and resilience looked like this. It broke above the previous high, pulled back, held support, started to recover. It was above the VWAP. The Bollinger Band is rising, the PSAR is rising, the Dragon is rising. So that feels like a low risk entry. There's my risk box, and it closed very well. And we're holding 3R with markets money as a cushion against the gap. So I'll be ready to try to bail out of that if it shows weakness tomorrow. Take my chances. No trade marijuana. The afternoon move is there. Nike, oh, beauty. Intraday resilience. It did a harsh sell off, held support above a rising Bollinger Band main. 1, 2, 3 entry. It crossed the VWAP. So I speculate in, and this thing, all it did was return 1, 2, 3, 4, 5R. I'll put my stop here to keep 3 and play with 2. Using markets money to fund the risk. What I like was that it exceeded the peak of the RL10. So this feels like a genuinely strong new move up. Check or hold. Now, to answer Jay's question, you're not on right now, but you'll listen to the video. You asked me what I'm looking for during the day. All the things that I'm talking about, those are the things I'm looking for. What I'm looking for on any of these time frames is the same fractal pattern, whether it is a 30-minute chart or later when we look at the 3-minute chart. I'm looking for patterns emerging from the indicators. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for something on 3 minutes and something different on 30 minutes. I'm looking for the same patterns on every time frame from a common set of indicators and sense-making devices. Right? That's all they are. Same thing every day. NVIDIA. What am I looking for in this one? Well, what I'm seeing is PSAR flip, intraday resilience, rising PSAR, rising Dragon. It broke above the VWAP temporarily there. Put the speculative risk in. It never violated that. It just goes up and closes at a high of the day. It gives me almost 3R of market money. I'll hold it. Tech leader. Clean energy. Thought a 2 entry. Never looked back. Rivian. No trade. I missed it. It had a lot of volatility. I just missed it. Look at that intraday resilience, PSAR flip, rising Dragon, rising Bollinger Band main. PSAR flip is holding and rising, and it breaks above this double top of the peak of the RL10. That's the strongest possible signal you could get in S&P, that big fat S&P. There's a lid on it right here. That is resistance. That is resistance. This was a breakthrough of resistance, and when it did, all it did was just explode. That's what I'm looking for. This happens to be on a 30-minute chart. It could be the same interpretation if it was a 3-minute chart. And I'm also noticing a rising Bollinger Band mean. The dragon is snaking his way higher like a little dragon will do. I'm looking for PSAR flips. Where are they occurring? How big are those risk boxes of uncertainty? They're the same size box on that time frame. That's a good risk box. You see something amazing. Look at treasuries, the risk-free rate of return. Look at that intraday move from 93.90 to 95, a 1.5% move in a market that's 3 times larger than the equity market. Tesla, uh, look at this reversal in fortunes. This, would we agree that that was everybody's definition of fair value last week around 211? And then it got smashed for 12% sell off. And then that held. And then this held. And today, all it did was gap up. And now it held here. That feels like intraday resilience on a value play. And that looks like a low risk entry. It ran up and held and closed here at 191. That's $20 of gain here on a $200 stock. That's a 10% potential gain. And that's why I'm holding this with 2R of markets money. That's why I would get in here. And now notice what that today's price action did. It took a Bollinger Band mean that was like that, and now it reversed here. This was where it decided not to fail. If it was going to fail, it should have failed here at the VWAP. It did not fail at the VWAP. It did this at the VWAP and closed at the high of the day. And now there's still a 10% gain back to fair value. So half of that is 200. That's a nice round number. That's tomorrow's target. That's what I'm looking for. Things like that. I'm looking for things like this. Like Walmart, we've got 3 positions in. The Bollinger Band mean reversed way back in here. The PSAR is pointing the way higher. The Bollinger Band is higher. RL30 did a COTA 2. The VWAP is rising today. I've got 3 positions in with a ton of markets money as a cushion. Just let it go. Trade it on a 3-minute intraday for extra juice. But enjoy the swing trade. It's fully funded. Meanwhile, no trade in U.S. Steel. Why? Because it looks different than all those things that are going up. It's not going up, so I don't enter. That's what I'm looking for. This was some of the work we were doing earlier today with the small group guys. Here's a sniper trade of the day today in Intel, tech leader. Here's where it closed yesterday. Here's where it gapped open. It ran all the way up, all the way down, all the way up to close right here. That establishes an OR3. When it breaks out of that box and starts moving up, I just speculated in early because it was a risk box off of the PSAR flip, so I get long. It immediately failed. Then I got short the next time it fell out of that box. Covered at the skin of the dragon after the R10 reversed, after the strong, harsh winter. So I got -1 and +2. I'm net 1. It rolls over, comes crashing through the dragon again, short. It reverses right where I'm not surprised. I get that exit for a 0.5 short. It crosses the Bollinger Band mean and PSAR flips. I put an SSC on it. It runs through the VWAP. That's good. It rolls over here into an owl exit for 1.3. It crosses the Bollinger Band mean. It crosses the VWAP. I get short. It doesn't really collapse much. I get a scratch. I mean, I made that, but I counted as a scratch. It gives me a COTA 2 here, and it crosses the VWAP and the Bollinger Band mean starting to roll up. I speculate in. Oh, nice. It gives me 2. So I'm just playing along. -1 plus 2 plus 1.8 plus 2. That's plus 5.8 minus 1. That nets to 4.8. Intel. Traders for today. Let's see what we got. We missed the earlier short up in here, but I think this is when he started stalking. That's a great entry. Great recovery for 2. Chopping along, winning some, losing some. Wasn't much of a mover. Got chopped a little bit. I might not have taken that last trade, but that actually gave you a little benefit. You stayed out of the chop most of the day. Quickly reverses into the winning trade and then stayed out of the chop. Gets the second leg up, caught a 2, an emerging dragon. Notices he might have gotten this. I like that re-entry on the Kata 2, a quick cut. Waits for this pinch to begin to expand. There just wasn't much follow through. That's about as good as you could get on that one, I think. Disney, well, that afternoon move was sweet, but you got the 2 legs up that were nice. There was an earlier Kata 2 that was available I want you to notice on these when they're crossing the VWAP now. Kata 2, when it crosses the VWAP on a range compression, that's often a kind of a stealth entry. You get the Z3 emerging dragon, but there's the extra play in there is worth looking at. That's a great re-entry. This is another one of those Kata 2s when it first emerges. You can maybe get that as well as that one. Intraday resilience. Let's see, you got what was available. You got what was available here. There was the obviously the earlier move. Rivian moves fast. There may be some residual strength in that tomorrow. The early morning strength and then no fail during the day and then a strong close, that could really pop in the morning. If it gets above that 1620 mark, watch that as a sign. Microsoft, the re-entry was possible on a strength in the market itself, and Microsoft is the clear winner, and this is an all-time high that may be worth looking at tomorrow. Ilker, scratches, there just wasn't much room in Apple today. DIA, sudden move, could not re-enter. Tell me why. The whole market was moving. That's one that we should be able to get in then that next urge up. That would make a difference in your day. You got what was available here. This one we stayed way too long. This is supposed to fail right away. When it doesn't, somewhere in here we got to start getting along inside there earlier. EWW, there were Kata 2s all day in the afternoon. We got to take advantage of that. Same with AMD. You did well inside here, but the Kata 2s in the afternoon when the whole market is being led north by tech, that's one that we should be able to get. That's probably a time of the day issue for you. EWW had Kata 2s galore. You did a great with Kata 2s on the way down, and then Kata 2s galore could have doubled the returns. That's why EWW is a frog champion. It just trades in both directions. For George, the reward on this thing is from low of the day plus a range stat. And so the potential, that's not an unusual reward. And I don't understand. The commission is high compared to the rewards because you're trading at a prototype level. But you got to get used to making those trades all the way up. When you start trading with a larger scale, the commission is not going to increase, but your rewards are going to more than compensate for that. So you got to not let the prototype cost of trading prevent you from getting used to making that kind of a trade. That is standard entry all the way up. And the same thing here. I don't understand. Seems to be in a channel. That's not one of our rules. This was a Keithar flip. That's a successful trade. It is a COTA 2 entry. That is an entry we make every day, all the time, routine. When it breaks above this, you have confirmation that it's working. Your 2-hour battle drill entry is here. 4-hour battle drill. We should have been crushing this one. Well, we'll take a look at the daily reports. Bullish normal, overbought on every dimension, strong bullish market. This little volatility is telling you be careful and measured, but be ready for big breaks in either direction. So that's normal and consistent information. Dow 30 breakout, the Dow 30 tactical, getting a ton of affirmative breakouts here. Disney, Microsoft, Nucor, and NVIDIA, especially Microsoft and NVIDIA. That is such a powerful signal. Markets at an all-time high. These guys are breaking out to all-time highs. As soon as you see intraday evidence of resilience, like a 1, 2, 3 entry, and the Bollinger Band minute, you got to buy those. DIA, SPY breaking out to all-time highs today. Maybe you'd say more. Yeah, this one tells the tale of the tape here also. Really powerful 30 period slope. It just crossed its 5-period moving average above. That's the beginning of a new leg up. And this is really fair. That's the dip that held support, and this is the beginning of new strength. The market did not fail in January. And that's what this is showing. The RL30 has started to reverse the Z-score. The 10 is still strong, and the 90 could not be any stronger indicator of success. So all systems go. All right, that's all we got for today. We'll get this published and posted.